Hi everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Atoms for the Love of Movie Picks. This is it, folks. This is video number 100. I thank you for coming along on this journey with me to reach this milestone and my YouTube channel. Before I get started, obviously video number 100 is going to be about Yu-Gi-Oh! The series, the movies, and a little bit about the trading cards. But since this is about Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's YouTube, I want to give a shout out to Ruxin34. If you want to see anything about Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like a good channel about Yu-Gi-Oh cards, check out Ruxin34, folks. You will not be disappointed. Great show, great YouTube channel, and just epic about Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and well done by him. Great job, Ruxin. So yeah, like I said, video 100. Here we are. It's going to be about the Yu-Gi-Oh TV show. If memory serves me right, if I understand, it started off as a kind of like a Japanese manga series, like a comic book series. It was serialized in Show and Jump magazine between September 1996 and March 2004. So first in the Show and Jump magazine in 1996. Plot follows the story of a boy named Yugimoto who solves the ancient Millennium Puzzle. Yugi awakens a gambling alter ego or spirit within his body that solves his conflicts using various games. The actual TV show, so it aired originally in Japan in April 1998, and it's aired in North America, the first season in April 2000, and ran until September 2004. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has since become one of the highest grossing media franchises of all times. Basically, the basis of the TV show is based around the trading card game. Characters in the show, they duel with trading cards to, basically solve conflicts, win tournaments. It's the basis of the show and life itself in this particular world in the Yu-Gi-Oh world. So, like I said, it started off with the original series, which ran for 5 seasons. I just happen to have the complete box set, Yu-Gi-Oh! The complete set, first 5 seasons on a complete box set. Still one of the best TV shows, not only animated TV shows, one of the best TV shows in my opinion, and I'm a little biased because of how much I like this show, but still a great show in the way it's put together. The basis of it is simple, the graphics and animation are on point. It's a little cheesy because it's done in, that typical Japanese style where the comedy's a little cheesy and, it's almost so cheesy it's stupid, but I mean, it's still good enough that you can get a laugh here or there. But it's also serious enough with the Japanese style of anime that it's good to follow for both young and old alike, kids and adults alike. So yeah, like I said, the original series, the first 5 seasons, went from April 18th, 2000 to September 29th, 2004. And then from there, first of all, before we even get into the next series, you also had throughout, you had various movies throughout the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise. Basically, like I said, started in April 2000, and then, it's been going ever since, but you've had, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie, which is in 2004. Then you went to Bonds Beyond Time. Now, this happened to come with the box set, so that's why it's not in its own case. And the most recent one was Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dark Side of Dimensions. All great movies, in my opinion. And, the first movie basically is about an ancient Egyptian spirit, or in this case, Anubis, the god of the dead, coming back to try and take over the world, and Yugi and his friends, go to stop him. Bonds Beyond Time is a very neat concept. Other than, some brief moments in the first, or I should say, from the first series to the second series, it takes place in the second series where Yugi and Jaden, who in the next series, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, which I'm going to show you, briefly crossed paths in the first episode, and in the season 4, which aired in Japan only, which sucked, they actually dueled each other. Very rarely, other than that, I don't think there's any instances throughout any of the series where they cross characters from previous Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. So in Bonds Beyond Time, they basically are, you got the characters from the first 3. You got the original Yu-Gi-Oh!, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds all in a movie together. They're brought from their various periods of time to face a character from the future called Paradox, who's threatening to destroy the world because of his hatred for dual monster cards. And then the Dark Side of Dimensions is kind of cool. because after the original, like I said, pretty much after the original series, you don't see Yugi anymore other than that brief time in the one movie. And even in that movie, he's still kind of based in his time frame in the original series. So it's different. It's not quite the same. And then, like I said, a brief, happenstance in the GX series, one episode in the English and a couple episodes at the end in the Japanese only season 4. But the Dark Side of Dimensions is cool because it's basically taken place many years after the original series. Yugi and his friends are all grown up, they're adults, but it basically they come back to take on this character called I'm trying to remember the name of it, but anyways, it's a character that has access to this dimension, this dark dimension. Unlike the I'm trying to think of what it's called. There's a Shadow Realm. It's different from the Shadow Realm in the original series. But it's cool because you got Kaiba coming back, and then they even attempt to bring back the Pharaoh, who is Yugi's alter ego. That's the spirit that lies within his Millennium Puzzle that Yugi calls on every time he duels. And then, of course, at the end of the fifth and final season of the original series, Yugi and the Pharaoh battle each other to make sure Yugi can, be able to do this on his own with the Pharaoh's help. So, it's kind of cool, that movie and that premise, so it's very neat to see. And then, like I said, after that, you go into the original series. These movies, like I said, I think the first one was 2004. Yeah, Bonds Beyond Time is 2010. And Dark Side of Dimensions is 2016. So I just wanted to mention the movie. So yeah, after the original series in 2004, then you moved into Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. So I got season 1, season 2, and of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX season 3. Now, like I said, the thing that was disappointing to me, and I would love if I could find even a Japanese dub version, of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 4. I would love it if they would release that because, like I said, it's awesome because at the end of the 4th season, Jaden, who's the main character in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, battles Yugi in a final duel. It's like his graduation duel because in the GX, they're all part of what's called a duel academy. It's basically a school strictly for teaching dueling. And they teach other aspects, history, English, math, whatever, but they do it all using duel cards. So it's really cool. And I love some of the new monsters introduced in the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX series. For me personally, after that, I started watching a bit of 5Ds on Netflix. No, sorry, it was Amazon Prime. And for me, after GX, the Yu-Gi-Oh! It got away from the premise of what made the first 2 series great, the original series and the GX series, which is mainly just focusing on the cards and just the simpleness of playing it. Like, starting in 5Ds, like they're in the future, they're using motorcycles, and as they're driving, they're dueling. Like, it just got weird from 5Ds on, the premise of the show, and it just, for me, wasn't as good to watch. But, I mean, definitely the first 2 series, and I mean, if you like the new stuff, certainly keep watching it. I mean, it's still entertaining. It's just, for me personally, I just like the first 2 series the best. Now, one thing that's interesting is, according to this list I found on Wikipedia, after GX, there's supposed to be something called Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monsters. Now, maybe it's the way they released it, I'm not really sure, but technically they're saying that Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monsters are supposed to happen after GX. Actually, Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monsters, which is kind of its own standalone thing, they get transported inside this world where instead of, it's a card game or even the dungeon and dice thing that Duke Devlin created, it's 12 episodes that take place actually between Season 5, Episode 14 and 27, or 198 and 199 overall in the original series. And like I said, standalone thing where they use basically monsters in capsules that they shoot out to, conduct the battles instead of trading cards. Kind of a neat standalone series, but just a correction, I wanted to say that, like they say, it's supposed to be after GX, and maybe release-wise it was, but it's actually meant to be as part of the original series, and on the box set it actually is. So, kind of a neat premise. So, just before I get into the last thing here, which is the trading cards, just want to say, so yeah, the main characters, like you said, you got Yugimoto, his friends Joey Wheeler, Taya, Gardner, and Tristan. I'm not sure what his last name is. And of course, you got his main rival, who's Kaiba, uh, Seto Kaiba, I should say, and then of course Maximilian Pegasus, who sets the original series. You know, the very first season, Duelist Kingdom. And you know, there are lots of interesting characters along the way. Like I said, going to the GX, you got Jaden and all of his friends. But you know, like I said, for me personally, what makes the Yu-Gi-Oh series so great, besides the animation and the storyline, is the trading cards. Now, when I was a young kid, they were just, and I was, you know, just about the age when I started losing interest in these kind of things, is when the original Yu-Gi-Oh trading card series was released. I forget exactly when, in 2002, but 2002 in North America, the first set was released. It was Legend of Blue Eyes. Actually, I think just before that, they had released the the 4 starter decks. There was the Yugi starter deck, the Kaiba starter deck, Joey starter deck, and Pegasus starter deck. And then shortly after, they released the actual first booster set, which was Legend of Blue Eyes. So about that time, I was just starting to lose interest in those kind of things. A bit of a collector in the first few sets, you know, Legend of Blue Eyes. Then I went into Metal Raiders. Trying to remember the third set. I think it was either Pharaoh's Servant or Magic Ruler. I'd have to check which one came first. And then about that time, I lost interest in it. And same with the show. Like, I'd seen the original series. I never actually had seen GX until you know, last year. But a great series. And yeah, and then I just, you know, I don't know, about 5 years ago or so, I kind of got back into the trading card game again and started watching the show again, and remembered why I fell in love with the show in the first place when I was a kid. You know, so I just want to show you some examples of what the trading cards look like. Now, these are probably my top three favorite trading cards, and I'm just showing you the original versions of them. There's many versions of them that are really cool, but you've got the Dark Magician, which is Yugi's favorite monster. Trying to get it to focus there. You can kind of see him there. The Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is Kaiba's favorite monster. And the Red Eyes Black Dragon, which is Joey Wheeler's favorite monster. 3 iconic monsters from the original series. These particular cards are from the 3 starter decks, so pretty cool. And then I'm just going to show you some of the, I don't really have a lot of the booster packs or booster boxes, so I'm just going to show you some cool Yu-Gi-Oh card products. This is from the first Megatin, I believe it was in 2020. This one came out, some cool artwork on it. You've got Yugi and Seto. They're Egyptian forms, like this is the Pharaoh, and then this would be, Seto Kaiba is actually like his high priestess back in ancient Egypt. That's the other thing I forgot to mention about the show that's different. So, like, basically, in the show, Duel Monsters started out as a shadow game in ancient Egypt 5,000 years ago. And basically, in that time, the Duel Monsters were real. They weren't just trading cards. They were real spirits. That if you lost a duel, your soul was sent to the Shadow Realm. So, you know, and this pharaoh that lives inside this Millennium Puzzle, they're called Millennium items. They're all significant items from ancient Egypt that each have their own power. Yugi ended up with the puzzle, which had the pharaoh in it. You know, you find out there's various characters have links to the past, and of course, you know, figures the 2 main characters, Yugi and Seto, each have their own link to the past. So very cool. I forgot to mention that. And then, you know, you've got, this is from the Legendary Collection with the 3 Egyptian gods. You've got Slifer the Sky Dragon, Obelisk the Tormentor, and the Winged Dragon of Ra. So just some various products I'm going to show you along with the movies and the box sets, just to give you an idea of it. You know, obviously this is a movie or a channel that talks mostly about movies and or TV shows, like visual forms of media. But I just wanted to show you the trading card game that went along with it, because believe it or not, I think the trading card game is more popular than the actual TV series, especially now. Like, no offense, like I said, after the first couple of series, it wasn't quite as good. Sometimes it's hard to beat the original. But, you know, like, the trading card game has definitely kept it alive, and I think a lot of people renewed their interest in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, from their childhood. Like, I did it during the pandemic is what I'm getting at. I know, you know, a lot of the value of some of these cards has gone through the roof with the renewed interest in it. You know, amount of cool sets that Konami has been coming up with. Konami is the main supplier of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards in the last couple of years, is phenomenal. You know, when the pandemic was going on, there's not much to do. A lot of people, like I said, took up their interest again in collecting Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards and getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. You know, some people, you know, both duel and collect. Some people just collect. Some people just duel. I do a little bit of both, but I'm mostly a collector. I got quite a few cards in my collection. I might do a video on it sometime, but yeah, that we'll see about that for another time. But yeah, definitely, if you're looking for something fun to do, something different, if you were interested in Yu-Gi-Oh in your childhood, I definitely recommend you taking it up again. Whether you watch the show again or you get into the cards, or you, like me, you do both. I highly recommend it, folks. You can't go wrong. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little more biased and a little more personal because it's something that's near and dear to me. You may not like Yu-Gi-Oh like I do. I just thought it was something cool to do for video number 100 because of how much I like it, how many people I know that do like it out there, both the trading card game and the show. But you know, just because given the how much we had to talk about, and this is going to be one of the longest videos that I've ever done. You know, I figured it was fitting for video number 100. You know, to not be an average length or average topic. You know, I had to do a special video for Yu-Gi-Oh just because of how much there is to cover with it. So yeah, like I said, folks, I hope you enjoyed this. It's been a ride. It's hard to believe we're here at video number 100, and you know, hopefully we'll see you for video number 150 and 200. We'll see where it goes, but I'm just proud to even to get to this point, folks. Thank you for supporting my channel and watching it. Those of you that have, I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, you take care, folks. We'll catch you in the next one, and have yourselves a great night.